Oh, good. Yes!
Double doink.
Good stuff. Big boy's back.
There are many, many positives I can get out of this game.
This is an old-fashioned ass kicking right here.
9 to noon.
The Vikings.
Hell no, we're going to go to playoffs next year. I'll tell you that right now.
You think it's funny?
Oh, my God.
You lucky suckers. Nine to noon, full strength Monday. That's debatable. Always were. Paul Allen, mad producer by my side. And after a week of weekdays, of vocal maintenance days, it's great to roll into FM 100.3 KFAN and have a cheery mad producer by my side. Think about it. Whatever your walk of life is, whatever the lots in life are of those listening now, it's like when you come into work and the team's negative or you're negative, then the situation's negative. But when you walk back and like your chief teammate and or members of your squad are happy and cheery, well, there are a couple things that emerge. One, you're grateful for it. And B, you wonder why. And this morning, I quickly realized that the anticipatory skills of the producer, Eric Nordquist, and the level of excitement with Minnesota Vikings training camp very much on the horizon, including 9 to noon, I believe, having our first training camp radio show 3 weeks from Wednesday. Mad producers all cheery, and it kind of put me in a good mood. And good morning.
Good morning.
Damn.
Every single year, PA, and it's obvious because they played in the NFL. Hey, when do you turn from off-season chill? When do you turn from summertime vibes and barbecue and trips and islands and sand between your toes on the beach? We asked these former players. Ben Lieber, he was in studio with the Power Trip. Hopefully we get to chat with him on Thursday. But we would ask Ben Lieber, hey, when do you have to turn the dial back to business and start getting ready for camp? And he would always use this particular time, 4th of July, light off some fireworks, don't become a casualty like JPP, come back with all your fingers and toes and be ready. And you got to work off maybe that summertime 5 that you added, and then you get ready for camp. That's 9 to noon right here. We got to work off our own, so, let's call it a summertime 7. We got to work off a summertime 7. But yes, turning the page from a beautiful Independence Day weekend celebration. I hope everyone had an awesome holiday celebrating the liberty of our great country.
Come on.
But now we turn the page and we start the countdown bits. We start looking at opponents. We start looking at people that we're pumped to see once we all come together again in Eagan. And that's why I'm so excited on a Monday. The holiday was cool, and now we get to look forward to our favorite football team getting down to business in Eagan just a few weeks from now.
Oh, I forgot something to top the radio presentation. Copyright Johnny the Mouse Mickelson, captain of the 83 Wayzata Club hockey team. This is 9 to noon, and it's Paul Allen filling in for Eric Nordquist.
I always love that one.
Indeed, we are within a month of the... We're within a month of the heavy stream, not the prostate.
I always love that one.
The NFL and the Vikes and the heavy stream news cycle. As you can tell, the producer, mad producer, Nordo's all excited, twitchy into Twitter. The scribe is going to be baking in the summer sun. That's right around the corner. Alec will be skipping around, looking for free agent corners who potentially could usurp somebody and make the squad.
I always love that one.
I always love that one for the skipping part. It's Alec Lewis, the Athletic. Don't leave home without him. The exclusive perch will be in play Eventually, the Patriots will be here for 2 days of Drake May. VB Flows 3-4 hybrid with floaters. That's all within a month. It's coming at us so quickly right now. Some would say it's on charging. Then the Coach of the Year. I mean, just the calendar that's coming at us with 9 to noon at TCOPC. 3 Wednesdays from now. And then you get, you're going to get the joint practices with the Pats. Then we're going to have some preseason games. Coach of the Year. He'll call a radio TV quarter with us one game. Justin Jefferson another. We tolerate the State Fair. We get back to Utica and settle into the Ben Johnson game and Monday Night Football. As Abbott and Common like to say, we're back. We're back. Or rhythm has been found. We are within a month of all that becoming the immediate future. And while the humidity knows no hour of the day, the Minnesota summer feel is not always rhythmically sound. It's the summer. It ain't supposed to be rhythmically sound. Monday night, Soldier Field. That's when we're back and we're rhythmically ready. Fantasy football. Speaking of within a month and change, fantasy football, super important to some. It's not necessarily with the 9 to noon duo because we are league freak raised by the daily, that is the NBA. But best of fortune to those who draft many a team and take it seriously. And there are many of you out there right now. God bless all of you. You all are less than a month from all of that becoming a stark reality. So please don't draft too many teams while you're driving a month and change from now, okay?
I always love that one.
When it comes to fantasy football, why has fantasy football never been of the utmost importance to 9 to noon? You have an answer for that, Mr. Nordquist?
My thought on it is simply this. We are children, Paul. We are absolute children as it pertains to the Minnesota Vikings. So we are emotionally compelled. And we are looking for victories. We are looking for Super Bowl berths. We would draft a team almost entirely of Vikings if we took fantasy football even remotely seriously. It's a little bit more emotionless in the Naismith game, I think. And it's not that we don't want Anthony Edwards and Nas and Rudy to hoist the Larry O'Brien. It's not about that. We root for all the games. We love it. The ability to have Chris Finch on a weekly basis. Incredibly blessed territory that I think that we've been in the last couple of years.
I like the daily. I like the daily box scores and the daily pickups. Like if we were more into baseball, think about if League Freak were that baseball marathon for us. And we're like picking up players. I mean, we're picking up these minor league pickups that are coming up for a short amount of time. And then all of a sudden you got like members of the Cleveland Indians, Stephen Kwan and some other guys on the team, and you're feeling really good about it. Then all of a sudden they lose $1 million in a row, and one of their pitchers gets dinged for some gambling charge.
I always love that one.
It's a long, winding marathon, this MLB, but it is daily, and we like daily.
It's too much. Baseball's too much. It's every single day. You're right. You are looking at guys. You're looking if you have a Twins player right now, you're watching the green line from St. Paul to Minneapolis and the St. Paul shuffle and who's on the IL/DL.
Yep.
And that's too much. But you're right. It is the daily grind. I think above all else, though, when you're looking at cheat sheets, why is Jamar Chase top-rated receiver right now?
Right.
Again, everything would be in relation to the Vikings. That's why, from a fantasy football standpoint, I'm happy to play.
And then you gotta wait. And you just wait for the games of Thursdays and Monday.
No, you need it. It's either you're on a daily sweat or you're out of the sweat. I think that's what it comes down to. But how emotionally connected we are with the Minnesota Vikings, I think that plays into it. You can't look at it. I can't look at fantasy football unbiased.
When I say humidity knows no hour, have you mowed your lawn in the humidity that we had last week?
I always love that.
I did early on, yeah.
Holy cow. That, for old people, that can be debilitating, Mr. Nordo. Seriously. And while we're within a month of Vikings training camp and many a lives changing, we are, let's say, just 3 mere months from grandiose opinions being formed about this guy.
I think I'm gonna switch over, man. I think he's gonna have the full rights to JJ from now on.
Yep.
And I think I'm gonna be the Jets, man. I think I'm gonna keep. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here it is.
Let's go.
McCarthy, 45 yards to Tristan Jackson. And with Justin Jefferson cheering on the sideline, it's 2013 Raiders. I mean, this is the greatest, Justin.
There we go, Paul.
We always love that one.
We're a month away from that. We're a month away from that, PA.
What an excitable young man. Talking about Justin, not JJ McCarthy, but we are seriously about three-ish. I mean, people, it's again with the heavy news stream coming at us less than a month from now involving Vikings football in the NFL, a lot of big opinions and everything, and a lot of throws and a lot of moments and a lot of positives and negatives that will be overanalyzed because that's what happens this time of the year about a month from now. I do believe it is fair to say that we're about 3 months from starting to being able to fairly contextually analyze what the new quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings is going to have to offer in the early stages of the equation. And when I say 3 months-ish, that feels like it gets you through the Tottenham Hotspur game, and then you can relax and decompress and kind of think about what we just saw in that first handful of games. Because 9 to noon, the creed is we don't blanket them with end-all opinions, personally speaking, until we get 20 to 25 into them, specifically a quarterback. Now, along the way, we analyze the context that's being established for said grandiose take after 20 to 25 games. That sounds fair, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, it's bet, box, bet. It's like bet, box, bet, box, bet. Now, Parker Fox is here at around 11 o'clock, by the way. P Fox, bet, box, P Fox, box. He'll be here at 11. And you guys discussed it beautifully during the vocal maintenance days. I'm talking about NBA free agency and the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves kind of staying pat for now with what they have. I'd like to do it again at 11 o'clock with Parker. I find some facets of it to be quite intriguing. New quarterback. Patience, marathon, not sprint. We all get that. We all in the listening audience, your 9 to noon race or your elite football minds, we all get that, all right? But sometimes that patience and the 25-game edict can become dumbfounded. Here's the example. Ed Ingram bit me a bit with it. Rookie right guard, not great. Started every game, managed to make every practice. That matters to the covenant and must have mattered also to the coach because he started him the next season, even if perhaps he didn't exactly want to. So when it comes to the fairness that is in the patience game, well, sometimes you can wait a little too long and stay patient a little too long. And it just like Eddie Ingram, it just didn't work. Eddie's dead.
I always love that one.
Eddie gone, traded to the Texans.
I think it's a great example, though, from the standpoint that you needed all 25 of those, PA, because you look at his rookie season, certainly not standout rookie of the year caliber in that conversation with him, but he did make all the dances. He did play all the snaps, and there were moments where you say, yeah, I kind of see why he was drafted in the second round. Yeah, I can kind of see that there might be a bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It just never showed up. We just never got to the end of that particular tunnel. But you needed all 25, whether it's, he's super reliable, he's fantastic, he has a chance in this league, or, that's kind of a sketchy rookie season. Let's see it come back again with an offseason I think you needed all 25 and more, maybe, to make a final decision on Ed Ingram. So I think it's a good example of it.
First segment going longer than I thought. Going to make it a marathon segment courtesy of Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. Over there in Mounds View, their 4th of July sale has been terrific, and it goes through July 9th. So if you're looking to save thousands of dollars on appliances because they have extra manufacturer rebates, go to stevesappliances.com and find something you like. Steve's Appliances. Thank you very much for the marathon segment. That is 9 to noon. stevesappliances.com. So Eddie's traded to the Texans. In comes Will Fries, a tough guy from New Jersey who knows how he knows the plays, and he'll move man. Now, after McCarthy starts them all, let's say the next 2 seasons, we should know for sure what we have. But the breadcrumbs will be laid starting with the Patriot joints at the facility. I've said this multiple times. Joint practices for a new quarterback I find to be amazingly beneficial. And we're going to be able to get some breadcrumbs out of those joint practices against Mike Vrabel's group when they get here in a month and change. And with that joint practice situation and the breadcrumbs being laid out for what hopefully is a chef salad that is quite delightful for all, that's just 5 weeks from now. Damn, man, it's coming at us so fast. It's just 5 weeks from now, the joint practices. By the way, this guy joins about 30 minutes from now.
3 receivers left, 1 right. Love, yet to be sacked. Stands tall in the pocket. Vikings blitz. Love, sacked! Down goes Jordan Love. Blake Cashman with the sack. Blake Cashman, with his 4th sack this year, drove him back to make it 4th and 21, and Green Bay is punting.
Some of the on-charging reality will be shared with Blake Cashman. Just everything that's coming up and is coming up quickly. Because like Nordo said earlier, generally when the 4th of July hits, players and coaches start getting all twitchy because they know the work is around the corner, and to last and succeed and win at this level, at that level of professional football, the work is hard. And when the 4th of July hits, they just start to get a little twitchy, knowing that all of that work is right around the corner. A cash money chat. It's all on the on-charging nature of the National Football League at about 9:45. And by the way, pop this now, but also with Blake when he joins. Blake's part of some football camps that are coming up. We have one in Rochester, one in Eden Prairie, one in St. Cloud. July 11th, Rochester. July 12th, Eden Prairie. July 13th in St. Cloud. And if you're interested and you have a Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Tamika, or Antoine who would like to take part in these football camps, the sign-up links are in the bio on Blake's Instagram page, which is at Block AYYY, which means it's at Block A.
I always love that one.
Are you on Instagram?
I am, yeah.
What's Block A's account like?
Well, I gotta
Turks and
go.
Caicos this, Telluride that, Egypt this, Philippines that.
Well, you know what I'll say, and I'm not opposed to if you want to follow me on Instagram. I think, I'm Nordo KFAN. With that said, I don't use Instagram a lot. I don't. If you want to go see pictures of the fat producer wearing a sleep apnea mask.
No, I want to see pictures of new fat babies who cry, but when they cry, they smile, and then we call them Hannah.
But I honestly, I don't use Instagram very often, so I'm bad at social media, man. But I'm about to, I'm going to follow Block A here momentarily.
BLOCKAYYY Block A. All right, Cashy. About 27 minutes from now.
That's part of that conversation too, is things to look forward to at training camp. Mm-hmm. And there'll be kind of a thematic element to Vikes Bites during the second hour. Mm-hmm. How about Blake Cashman just rolling in here, leading the team in tackles, missing a couple of games? That part stinks. Mm-hmm. But the season that he had and playing one of his 4.5 sacks his first season, and kind of his evolution in the league, man, and how pivotal, how quickly he became that guy for Flores' defense. That's what I was thinking as he made plays. Love Cashman's addition.
Now, with the intel that has been received, yours truly does not exactly have an idea of what ages are encouraged to attend said camps. That's why we're having Blake Cashman at 9:45, so we can get to the bottom of all that.
That is correct.
We can share with you the purpose of the camps. Giving back to communities that help shape Blake's journey and providing Minnesota kids with a chance to learn, grow, and be inspired through football. What the attendees can expect: high energy training, focused skills development, and local community coaches, and a whole lot of fun.
Oh, that's sweet.
Local community coaches. What if they use Abbott and they implore the kids to run 97% of the time?
I always love that one.
It's a Minnesota high school football age-old bad joke, okay? So don't kill the messenger. So you got high energy training and the community coaches and an opportunity to meet and learn directly from Blake Cashman himself.
It says high energy, not high anxiety. Is that correct?
Honey!
I always love that one.
It's an opportunity to just have a lot of fun. I mean, It's unbelievable. The sign-ups, once again, for either July 11th, Rochester, July 12th, Eden Prairie, Cashy, July 13th, St. Cloud. Blake's Instagram at Block A. Spots are limited, and they're going fast. Come out and join Blake for a day of football fun and hard work.
I am seeing the sign-ups here for Rochester, Eden Prairie, and St. Cloud from the link in his bio.
Mm-hmm.
Be a king. That's what it says. Be a king.
Okay. So that's coming at us fast. That's 25 minutes away. 3 weeks, 9 to noons on we're at Vikings training camp. 5 weeks from now, we got the joint practices against the Patriots. Geis will probably be 7 leagues strong about a month from now in the fantasy football world. And it's just so beautiful. The colors, the highlights that people will see on social media, the heat, the night practices, the first Jordan Mason run that leads people to oohs and ahs. Jordan Mason's on the squad. Who knew? How'd we get Jordan Mason? He's a beef eater, and we think we'll enjoy him. By the way, hopefully Andrew Van Ginkel, the gink is on fire. Andrew Van Ginkel, hopefully, his Insta is at AVGAYYY at AVGA. Van Ginkel, hopefully he has prepared himself with this mental respite to handle the blushing, because he can be on the shy, humble side. The gink is the bomb, but the gink's extremely humble. Seriously, here's what I mean. The last training camp, or the first training camp for Andrew Van Ginkel, wearing the colors, but the last training camp for Minnesota Vikings fans, let's be straight. 85% of the people didn't know who he was, might have thought Clay Matthews came out of retirement, and now they sport his jersey after that bomb season he had last year. Andrew Van Ginkel will hear the roar they didn't know how to unfurl last year. So they're going to see the gink. Wasn't exactly sure who he was last year. They're going to go nuts this year. Same with Jonathan Grenard. They're going to go bananas for not only Grenard, but those guys, because nobody knew which newbie to love except Aaron Jones. And the reason most Vikings fans loved Aaron Jones, he was stolen from the Green Bay Packers.
I always love that one.
You're like, stole one from the Packers. So I absolutely got to love him. The Alabama kicker. We're just a few weeks away from the old Alabama kicker who showed mortality moments last year. What does year 2 for the Alabama kid look like? Fans in the stands at TCOPC analyzing Reichert kick by kick. The sound of the ball off his feet. The wind playing game. The Alabama kid and the bionic leg.
I always love that one.
Your calls, 800-320-5326.
Shoot. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Damn. Offensive linemen are signing autographs for the public just a few Saturdays from now. I mean, how we're back is that? Holy cow. Offensive linemen signing autograph for Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Tamika, and Antoine, and even jersey-wearing adults just a few Saturdays from now. Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. Who's going to hit Ryan Kelly, new center? Who's going to hit Ryan Kelly with I was hoping we'd find a way to draft you back in 2015. Then the new center says, I was drafted in 2016. And then the Rube says, yeah, 2016. Is it always this humid in Indy?
I always love that
It's
one.
awfully humid out here. Okay, anyway, have a good day. Thanks for the autograph.
Who's going to hit Michael Juergens with, Cam, you're one of my favorite players in the NFL. He plays for the Eagles.
Ow.
I always love that one.
Ow. So yeah, the offensive linemen, the autographs and everything, there's intel to be had, in those sneaky autograph signings. For instance, Charch will be there 3 deep in the Darasol line wearing a mask or maybe a ball gag
with 7 mini helmets
to get quick fire intel on whether Darasaw's going to start game 1. So Charchy knows where to draft Aaron Jones. That's all part of the equation, and it's coming up and coming at you next. It's on charging. Donovan Jackson, mashing man. You don't see that in organized team activities. It would be a civil war. But when the Patriots are here, or when they go full pads in the Civil War, that is O'Connell et al.'s offense versus Flores et al.'s defense, well, that's when we get a chance to see Donovan Jackson mash man for profit. Brian O'Neill has a bunch of new friends, and what do they have up their tattered sleeves for old Blake Brandel? Some hot, unbalanced, extra offensive line action behind which Jordan Mason may run. And run Jordan Mason will do. Right into the end zone behind the blocking of an unbalanced offensive line led by Blake Brandel. A few Saturdays, the news stream, the colors, the highlights, and the opinions. Nordo is washed out. He's so excited. And as am I. It matters an awful lot to an awful lot of people listening right now, and we are you. It matters to us, too. So it's on charging. That's on the horizon. It's also part of the Timber Tech What's on Deck set list, which includes Blake Cashman joining 9 to noon, about 20 minutes from now. P. Fox in studio at 11 o'clock to mix it up with that kid. And the weekend wrap, courtesy of Hoffman Cooling and Heating, is around the corner. It's Paul Allen filling in for Eric Nordquist at FM 100.3 KFAN. This is your Cash Thing Leader.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Just go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword bonus. You might win $1,000. Some bonus bucks in your pocket with the keyword bonus at KFAN.com.
Fan.
It is now post time for the Hoffman Cooling and Heating Weekend Wrap before the hard-hitting Blake Cashman interview taking place around 9:45. The hard-hitting cash machine joins us about 9:45. By the way, we do hear the Covenant claps far and wide, and you deserve them for taking Scott and his veteran, reliable staff at Hoffman Cooling and Heating up on their request to get that $59 AC performance check for this terrible, terrible humidity. You called, they fixed, you chilled, and that's what they do. So you deserve those Covenant claps that you're giving yourselves right now because you saved your family a lot of uncomfortability by going to hoffmanheating.net, signing up for the AC performance check, and maybe needing even a little more. So learn more about this fantastic company at hoffmanheating.net. Weekend wrap, you say, early July, ain't much about which to wrap. We got some good times and some bad times, but we do got them twins.
And that should be one of them. As Yandy Diaz splits the gap and sends it to the wall. RBI double driving home Jansen, and there's one. It's 5-4 Rays.
Yeah, that right there. I mean, outside of a home run by Yandy Diaz, that's your best case scenario right there.
So good times, bad times, good news and bad news, I guess. The good news, the Minnesota Twins meatloaf to the Tampa Bay Rays, meaning copyright the old schooler, God rest his soul. 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. Twins took 2 out of 3, trying to sweep the Rays. Couldn't close on it yesterday, despite Joe Ryan giving them 6 strong with 8 Ks. I don't know what the contractual wherewithal is for Joe Ryan, but my man always has been good. But he's like pitching now, like he's hit a new level at this stage of his career. And again, he's always been good, but it's almost like he's like pitching for a big fat contract. I mean, he's really, really good. So sad. 9 to noon is not the dwelling covenant. We just don't dwell. But nevertheless, Joe like this with Pablo Lopez like him. When Pablo's Pablo, hey, that'd be at BLOCKAYYY, which is at block. Hey, yeah, that's too bad about Pablo, man. The way Joe's going right now. So the game was 4-4 into the top of the 10th. The Rays got 3, we got 1, and there is your dagger.
I mean, what's too bad about it is in a year where Joe Ryan's healthy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you mentioned Pablo.
That's the key.
In a season where Byron Buxton, I think he hit his 20th or 21st home run yesterday. Mm-hmm. We've been begging for health for Byron. We are getting it and getting absolute top-notch, all-star caliber play from Buck.
Yep.
That you're not getting anything right now out of your bullpen that could be considered, well, save for Duran, that's even considered remotely reliable on a day-to-day basis. And
Jax messed that thing up yesterday a little bit.
He did, and then you put Topa in there, and you're just out of gas by the time you're going to that side of things into the extras. So whether it's Joe Ryan, he gets the W not yesterday, but 2 starts ago. Mm-hmm. The start before that was the same story, PA, where he goes 6 or 7 strong, and we just can't score a freaking run to save our lives.
Jeez.
So on the shores of Lake Erie,
right.
It could actually be a situation with Cleveland right now as they just fall down the charts like a rock to the bottom of a lake.
Did the Luis Ortiz gambling bit pop while you were doing the vocal maintenance days?
I didn't see it while I was filling in. No.
Might have been over the weekend. But yeah, I think they've lost 11 in a row. It was 10 in a row into yesterday. I mean, they got a starting pitcher named Luis Ortiz, and I heard you, I think it might have been with P. Fox last week, talking about Malik Beasley. And that I mean, the irregularities with the betting and the Beasley thing, I understand all that. But like the bet didn't come through, which was kind of the dividing line for me there. It's like, yeah, but nobody won. So I mean, why is everybody scrutinizing this so hard? But the Luis Ortiz thing, I saw some video yesterday. I mean, it's starting to get so complex, man. It's like if you have a maximum bet, say $2,500 to $5,000 on, it's an in-game wagering bet.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like this will be a strike or this batter will be hit by a pitch. And it's just so tricky and hard to figure out. But Ortiz is out of the chat, as the kids would say. They can't win. And you're right about Cleveland, man. I mean, that you talk about a team circling the drain right now. Holy cow.
Yeah, they've lost 10 straight. But bringing that all back, you just look at what potentially you have in front of you, and it feels like with the Twins, it feels like with the AL Central, that you can have this conversation almost every year.
Yeah.
And right now, with, you're not getting it from Correa. Royce Lewis is finally back, so hopefully he can return to form after the combination of health and some slumping issues for him. So you're not getting it from your big three. The bullpen is having problems. You mentioned Jax, who it felt like elite of elite at times a year ago, and you're just not seeing that now. Mm-hmm. But then you keep getting these outings from Joe Ryan, who's, you asked him, or you spoke about his contract. Yeah. I think he's making like $3 million this year. He's got a couple of arbitration years on the back end of this, but but he's gonna get paid, and he's earning every freaking dollar, and we can't put it together for him when he's on the mound. It sucks.
Well, you know what's next is specifically, or especially with the ownership situation or lack thereof, the ownership situation in flux here. I mean, he's pitching so well right now. Most people are going to look at it like, well, yeah, he's trying to get onto the All-Star team. No, he's not. He's trying to become a Dodger.
I always love that one.
Are you kidding me? He's trying to wear a Yankee cap better than a Yankee can.
And he's on pace. He's on pace to do that, though.
Dustin, I'm playing, okay? There may be a request coming for a game at Coors Field in the near future, and we're just kidding.
Well, the thing is, though, is with ownership in flux, at some point there will be a new ownership group.
Yeah.
And on that to-do list, whatever that thing looks like, they're going to have to look at a guy like Joe Ryan and figure out how to keep him and what those dollar amounts look like. I assume Falvey and company already have some of this stuff in their pocket already.
Right.
So, but it's just ugly. But the way we're talking about this, by the way, I mean, in some ways, with the way things have gone, can you also just be like, hey, they won a series? Can you do that?
Yeah, I said they meatloaf the Rays, which is good.
No, you started on a positive. I feel every time we get down the road with the baseball team, I find myself doing it where I start immediately lamenting. It's year after year. I'm just exhausted with the injury conversation. How do you cover this team for 162 games when the same themes keep popping up? And I find myself falling into those ruts. And I got to work my way out of it because they actually won a freaking series. I couldn't sell myself on that.
But wait till October. I mean, as we said in the open, we're about 3 months away from grandiose opinions being formulated on J.J. McCarthy because you then will have a handful-ish of games. We also will be watching the New York Yankees in the American League Championship Series.
Yeah, we will.
Maybe hearing Joe Ryan's 0-2 pitch to Corey Seager of the Texas Rangers. Hey, struck him out.
I always love that one.
We're teasing. Come on, man. It's all cheery here in the Covenant.
Just enjoy the season is what they say.
This is the final week for the All-Star break. Twin Enigmatics, 13.5 behind Tariq Scooble's squad. The Motor City Kitties. Cubs are here tomorrow night. 4 games. 3 with the Cubs. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then the no-hitting Buccos are here this weekend. Willie Stargell, Omar Moreno, Kent DeCalvi go crazy, John Candelaria, Burt Blyleven, and so on.
It might work against this, though, but how about Saturday?
What?
Again, enjoy the season. Joe Ryan's next start is against Paul Skeens.
Ooh.
That's a Saturday matinee. You have to be in for that.
To some, it's a baseball game. To others, it's a game of the underwhelming variety.
I always love that one.
We'll see how the whole thing works out. No hitting Buccos, though. All right, when 9 to noon continues, Minnesota Vikings inside linebacker Blake Cashman joins the equation. We'll chat football camps and much more with Blake Cashman. When 9 to noon continues, it's Paul Allen filling in for Eric Nordquist on this Monday at FM 100.3 KFAN.
This is 3rd and 9 from the Vikings 29. Caleb shotgun, 3 receivers, right, 1 left. Minnesota blitzes. Oh, Caleb sack! It's a strip sack, and it's picked up by Blake Cashman. Cash money!
What's going on?
Hey, how we doing?
Pretty good, man. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late here. If like, say this were a linebacker, inside linebacker meeting, or defensive meeting, or team meeting, and you showed up 3 minutes late, what happens?
Well, I guess it could depend on the day, but you get fined. You could, have to maybe pay the fine board in the room, or be responsible for getting snacks or something. But it all depends on the day.
Blake Cashman.
Kind of move people in.
Blake Cashman, Eden Prairie High School, University of Minnesota, inside linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. We talked about those camps earlier. We'll get to those momentarily. Speaking of meeting rooms and stuff, like when you guys get together and you watch back games on Mondays or subsequently the cuts during the week, and somebody has made, let's say you won the game, but somebody made a mistake, they slipped, or it was like kind of embarrassing or funny. Like, how do you handle that in a room when it comes to teasing somebody?
Well, we're a close group, so if it happens to one of us on defense or even on a special teams play, like, you're going to have to expect to get poked fun of a little bit, but that's kind of the camaraderie and the relationships we have, and everybody knows it's just fun is innocent, playful humor.
So it's July 7th, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Blake. I've just heard it so many times over so many years from so many players. When the 4th of July hits, is that when you get a little twitchy, you start thinking about what's coming up in 3 weeks, the mental and physical grind that's nearing training camp, and maybe sneak in any final journey before the whole thing begins in a few weeks?
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I was thinking about that exact same thing earlier this morning when I was headed to my workout. But, by this point, most guys are, physically and mentally prepared to go. It's just the understanding of what roads ahead, and you want to enjoy the last remaining days of free time and relaxation that you get, because it does get to be a grind. It does become a long season, but it's what we got to do.
You guys in 5 weeks have a couple of joint practices with the Patriots. What if anything do you like about joint practices, Blake?
Well, I think it allows you to get a better evaluation of where you're at, where the team's at, because it's different when you're practicing against your own team. You're taking care of each other more. You're still competing, but maybe not as hard as you normally would. And also, when you do go against the same players, the same scheme over and over in practice, you get pretty familiar with what's going on. And, sometimes you just kind of catch yourself going through the motions, but when you get to practice against another team, you're getting something new. Everybody's energy is spiked up a little bit more because we're all very tough competitors, so it's just a different kind of feel out there than just your normal day-to-day.
The quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, undoubtedly has a lot coming at him, but these, for him specifically, these joint practices are, they're very important for new players, right?
Absolutely. It's important for everybody, but it's a time where you can really, like I said, examine where you're at, but also challenge where you're at. Because things can be going really well, but the second you start going against players and schemes that are unfamiliar to you or that you haven't been seeing every day, it's going to test you a little bit. But that's what you need to get prepared for a long NFL season.
Have you, last one on this, and we'll talk about the camps. Have you, whether it's the Jets or the Texans or the Vikings, have you ever known with joint practices, coaches set things up with other coaches, but they don't tell the players? In other words, O'Connell gets with Vrabel, and he's like, we need J.J. McCarthy to push through this. So do this, and they do it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of conversations being had between the coaching staff. You know, they want to we want to challenge each other and really work on the things that need the most attention, regardless of what that may be. So it happens a lot, and you know, sometimes the coaches will give you the heads up. Hey, this is what we're going to be working on. We need the practice here, and sometimes it'll catch you by surprise. But you know, when it's here in training camp, especially when you got a joint practice week, like you just gotta be on your toes and just be ready to go for whatever is thrown your way.
As we mentioned about 30 minutes ago, Blake has some camps coming up this weekend. Very cool that he's helping the kids. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is in Rochester, Saturday, Eden Prairie, and Sunday is in St. Cloud. As we mentioned, Blake via Instagram is at Block AYYY, at Block A. And that's where you can get more information on the camps and sign up for the camps. Question for you here. What are the preferred ages of like the camp goers? What are you looking for here?
Well, it's a wide range of ages and also skill level. You know, we want to compliment people that are at different levels of skill in their game. So that way, it's, you know, inviting for everybody, and it's gonna be really cool. I can't wait. You know, these kids, it's so fun to see how excited they get, you know, to be running around, doing drills, learning things, and also, you know, competing with one another. But hey, whenever I'm at a youth camp, I'm always jumping in those drills and getting to compete against the kids to really test to see where they're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's think about middle schoolers for a second. So like what's the best route for middle schoolers and other kids to become good at football? Just quick twitch. Like what are some things they can do at that age?
I think the most important thing is at a young age like that is just developing the, you know, basic fundamentals. You know, people are still growing into their bodies and learning how to move. But, you know, with young players, you got to do drills that also not only teach a fundamental, but I guess keep young athletes engaged. You know, it can get, you know, tedious if you're doing, you know, boring fundamental drills. But if you can add a little kind of fun and competition within the drills that you know, will teach you whatever it is that you're trying to work on, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable, I think, for coaches and athletes.
Now, I know you were good at basketball. Clearly, you're good at football. You probably were good at baseball too. So you played them all. What led you to settling into football?
I think it was something that at a very young age I naturally felt best at. And, you know, there was always that deep love and passion from a very young age. So it was always something that came easy to me and that I loved doing and enjoyed. Well,
you've said this before. I know you're a fan of kids playing multiple sports, but like how does one settle into it, or when should one settle into a single sport and like become great at it instead of maybe very good at a bunch and great at none?
I think definitely throughout your childhood, you should, you know, that's my opinion, play multiple sports. But, you know, once you get to maybe that sophomore year in high school, like around, you know, 15, 16, I think is if you are going to consider playing one, that would be when to do it, because I get it. The entire recruiting landscape has changed so much over the years, and you know, to stay at the top of your game, you got to do what's necessary. But there's so many benefits to, you know, playing multiple sports, and you know, that comes physically and mentally. You know, using different you know, muscles and you know, having to do different things in games. Like it can be very complimentary.
Last one here, and thanks for the time. This is Blake Cashman, inside linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings, leading tackler, and some camps we're talking about for kids coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Rochester, Friday, Eden Prairie, Saturday, St. Cloud on Sunday. Sign up via Blake's Instagram @Block A, @Block AYYY. Last one. When it comes to these camps and like the leadership of leading these kids and technique and drills and stuff like that, what when they're having their most fun, like what do these kids really enjoy about these camps?
Well, I think as athletes, you and just youth, it's fun to have some kind of sense of community, and you're doing something all together.
Right.
But then, to be blessed enough to be in a position to, try to be a role model and create a really cool experience where, they get to do something they love at this camp, but I get to do it with them. Like that, I think that's a pretty cool moment for young athletes to do and to share. And I think I know I would have loved it being at a young age and being able to run around a football field, throw the ball around, do drills with a professional football player, somebody that, maybe you hope to be like someday. So it's a great experience for everyone, and there's so much, obviously, fun, but learning that goes on as well. It's going to be just a great weekend.
Vikings question to close. What do you think will be good with the 3 new guys in the middle of the offensive line? And Jackson needs to win the job, but let's say Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and Will Fries. What do you think is going to be good with that interior?
Well, I think, there's obviously a lot of talent on that interior and the O-line as a whole. Talent that, honestly, is just raw talent, not coachable stuff, but it's going to help us, with a brand new quarterback, a young quarterback, which also has a lot of talent. But it's so important for us to use the weapons we have at the skill positions, and the only way we can get those guys the ball is if we're good inside. So to be able to marry the running and the passing game, probably start games off or the season off, making things, easy for JJ to get the ball out quick, and build that confidence, but putting the rock into the hand of our skill players, you're going to have to be bullies up front in the run game and get the kids time to pass in the passing game.
You're fantastic, man. Thanks for the off-season time. I'll see you at training camp, and I'll pop these camps again and the Instagram handle, and have a wonderful day. Okay, Blake?
Thank you. Really appreciate the time.
Yep, for sure. See you, bud. That's Blake Cashman, linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Tamika, Antoine. It's right in front of you. Rochester, Marcus Sherrill's country. July 11th, Blake Cashman leading a football camp for kids. July 11th in Rochester. July 12th in Eden Prairie, Blake's hometown. And July 13th up St. Cloud way. So go to Instagram and Blake's Instagram page at BLOCKAYYY @Block A. And you can learn more about the camp, sign up for the camps, and meet Blake, who has some genuine article to him. Ain't no doubt about that. Into the second hour of the 9 to noon radio show. It's Paul Allen filling in for Mad Producer on KFAN.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want. With PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards. So you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
With depression, it feels like every day you're just going through the motions. I wanted something that could help me feel better fast and that also lasts. That's when my doctor told me about Auvelity.
In a study, Auvelity started working for some as early as 1 week, with significant improvements seen on average at 6 weeks compared to placebo.
Auvelity is helping me to feel more like myself. I'm glad I talked to my doctor about Auvelity.
Auvelity is a prescription medicine for adults with major depressive disorder, MDD. Auvelity is not approved for children under 18. Auvelity may increase suicidal thoughts and actions in young adults. Tell your doctor about sudden changes to mood, thoughts, or behavior. Do not take Auvelity if you have a history of seizure, eating disorder, or have abruptly stopped drinking alcohol or taking benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or anti-seizure medicine. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Do not take if you are allergic to dextromethorphan, bupropion, or any of the ingredients in Auvelity. Do not take with MAOIs. High blood pressure, manic episodes, serious eye problems, and dizziness can occur. Report all medicines you take to avoid a life-threatening condition. Do not take Auvelity if you are or may become pregnant. Side effects can include dizziness, headache, diarrhea, feeling sleepy, dry mouth, sexual function problems, and excessive sweating.
Ask your healthcare provider if Auvelity is right for you. Visit Auvelity.com. That's AUVELITY.com. Or call 866-496-2976 for more information.
You're great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there are lots of places that also have it, and they might not be as careful as you are. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve identity theft issues on your behalf, guaranteed or your money back. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You might not be able to control how others handle your personal information, but you can help protect it with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.